All right, riding with Gunny. I've been telling you guys about this one for like a week and a half now. We got a special guest, Sergeant Wah, with us. I've worked with Sergeant Wah for about 2 years. When she came over to 2nd TSB, I asked her to come and talk to you guys because I've never done any college in my Marine Corps career. I definitely think it's an important thing to do. I'll kind of talk about that at the end when I'm coming summarizing my stuff. So a little bit about Sergeant Wah. Sergeant, yesterday or today was her official 8 years in the Marine Corps. And she's got 2 degrees, so she, if anybody, is the expert to kind of talk to you guys about this stuff if you're having those questions. So hopefully throughout this we can kind of, answer some of those questions. So my first one being, I came in the Marine Corps, high school diploma. I've never touched college or anything like that. So when you were coming in the Marine Corps, did you have any college?
Not at all. I joined the Marine Corps a week after I graduated high school. I had zero intention of going to college right away. It was always one of those blocks I had picked out from my recruiters, like, hey, like, education's important to me, but it wasn't like the end all be all.
Okay.
I really just had the motivation to be a Marine, and I got to the fleet. I had a good sergeant, and within, I think, like, my first 8 months, I was signed up for school, and I was a PFC. I came in as a private, and I just kept rolling with it, and I never stopped.
Okay, so, and that was kind of my question. So at which rank did you start? So you started about as a PFC?
Right.
Okay.
I was a PFC, and it took me 2 years to finish my associates. I had 12 military credits. Keep in mind, if you do start school later in your career with more rank and more military schooling, you're going to have more credits. But even just having 12 completely exits an entire semester out, which is super helpful. But it did take me the full 2 years to get my associates, and I went to a community college to get the most bang for my buck, if you will, for tuition assistance. Because if you didn't know, the cap is $4,500 per year. So if you go to a cheaper school, obviously you could take more classes with that. So that's what I did. And then immediately afterwards.
So you said, and you kind of hitting some of my questions. This is perfect.
Okay.
So 2 years for your associates?
Yes, took me 2 years full time. I took, so first off, if you didn't know, it is a TA guideline that the first time you're using tuition assistance, you can only get approved for 1 class. So other than taking that 1 class the first 8 weeks, I took 2 or 3 from there on out.
Now, is that just to make sure, like, you're serious about it, or you maintain grades?
Right, so
or?
it's making sure that you can maintain a grade. So for your undergrad, you have to maintain a C and above. And for graduate school, I know that's a little bit of a stretch, you have to maintain a B and above, so 3.0.
Okay, and then so this is where some of the leaders get in, and we always try to scare Marines. If you don't maintain that, is there...
You do have to pay it back.
So you got to pay it back.
You do have to pay it back. It's very similar to the GI Bill. If you fail a class, and the Marine Corps does consider a D failing, you have to pay back that tuition assistance.
So if you're going to do it, you better pay attention in class.
Right.
So as you were taking those classes, were they all online? Were you physically going to a campus, or?
For my associates, it was about half and half, actually. I was going to class like Tuesday, Thursday nights, Monday, Wednesday. It just depended on the semester, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And because that was my appointed place of duty, let's pretend the Marines were working late. Well, you're authorized that tuition assistance. That is your appointed place of duty. So the nice thing was, I had leadership that was like, okay, the college, like, if you're in college, like, go to your class right now. So that was super helpful. And then the rest were online. Okay.
And then I think it's important because, you're a sergeant, I'm a gunnery sergeant, so our pay is a little bit different than some of the younger Marines that are maybe starting out. Was there any out-of-pocket cost for this? I know there's TA and all the other stuff, but...
So, and I always harp on Marines filling out their FAFSA because it's something I did not do my first 2 years in school. So I was paying out-of-pocket like a dummy for all my books and things like that. But you do qualify for FAFSA, and more times than not, you're actually going to pocket money from it. So once I started applying for FAFSA, I would pay for my books, and then the rest of the money you just get to keep. So unless you have any lab fees, that's your money, and that money does not have to be paid back. So not only are you pocketing extra money, getting your college education paid for, you're getting those books paid for too. So
okay, and I know we talked about you have 2 degrees.
Right.
What is the field? Like, what is...
Okay, so I got my associates in general studies. I didn't know quite what I wanted to do yet, so I just wanted to kind of knock everything out, take a bunch of electives in things I was interested in that I knew would transfer over. And thankfully, like, all my credits transferred over. So when I transferred over to my 4-year university to finish my bachelor's, I got it in social psychology, and I got a certification in global communications with Park University. And I took night classes as well there on Camp Pendleton and did half online. Now, my bachelor's, I went a lot faster. I was continuously taking 3 at a time. Again, it was a subject I was interested in. I'm now out of those gen eds, so I'm thoroughly enjoying what I'm learning every night. So taking 3 was difficult, but it wasn't unmanageable.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed that. And then complete switch of gears, I decided to go for an MBA for my master's, which is a master's in business administration, and I concentrated in human resource management. So a little bit different, but they kind of relate if you think about the big picture.
Now, and I probably messed up in my intro, and this into my next question is, which is one of the things I was always most proud of you about. As you were going through both these degrees, you were a single mom at the time. I know you were working on the depot, right, is where you met your now husband, but you were a single mom working at Weapons Field Training Battalion, right? The Rifle Range?
Right, for my bachelor's.
Okay.
So I could kind of go into that. Like,
yeah. So that would be my question, is like, being a single mom, Marine Corps, we know this, right? Working on the range, doing all that stuff. How did you balance Marine Corps, your expectations, right? Physical fitness, MCIs, all that.
Right. And
workload in college.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I think that's the biggest thing. I could sit here and say what I've done, but if I don't tell you how I've done it, maybe telling you how I did it, it can motivate you into doing the same thing. So essentially, I was 15 weeks pregnant when I graduated with my associates, rolled right into the bachelor's. I have a picture on Facebook even, like I have a 1.5-year-old on my hip graduating with my bachelor's, and a 3.5-year-old last year graduating with my master's. And honestly, the biggest thing I could tell Marines is it's time management. I maintained, I'm pretty into the gym, so I was maintaining like any free time I had, like it was never used as free time. So like my chow time was either I was working on homework assignments or I was working out. As soon as I get off work, I was either running, like getting a 3-mile run in really quick, 25, 30 minutes, going to pick my son up from daycare. He's in bed by 8 p.m. I'm doing homework till 10 p.m. It was an every single night thing. And as you could probably imagine, graduate school was only worse, just with the time of everything. Just it's a lot more assignments.
Okay.
And I at the end of the day, my motto was just like, nobody cared how tired I was. This is something I wanted to do, so I just didn't feel bad for myself. I just kept pushing through.
So now I'm gonna go off script. We just want to kind of have a conversation, because I'm almost at 13. Sergeant Wall just hit her 8-year mark. So I'm coming from a time where I came in, I had a high school, and I've never thought about doing college. One, it's always kind of scared me.
Right.
Two, I've always kind of made excuses for why I don't want to do it, whether, that's having 2 kids, right, and coaching and all that, and I've made that decision. But I think it is important to push this, and, I don't want to sound like hypocritical, but the way the Marine Corps is going, we have a new commandant. He's pushed out a new message. He seems to be, really pushing education on the enlisted side, of the house. And I think I just hit a good time where in 13, I'm a gunny. I'm hoping, knock on wood, I'm going to pick up first sergeant without any college education. But I don't think, maybe 5-10 years down the road, that's going to be, the case.
Right.
So did you do it for a plan to stay in, or did you want to get it for when you get out of the Marine Corps?
Oh, Gunny, I love the Marine Corps. Yeah. Probably more than most people I know. So, if I had your MOS, I'd be like, where's my 20 years? I'll sign right here. So my plan was never to stay in, but it was never necessarily to get out. I kept a really open mind. And when I re-enlisted, I was like, you know what? I think I could do this for potentially 20 years. And then just, different things, becoming a mom, like getting my education, being in the MOS I'm in, knowing what I would have to do to change my career, possibly leaving my son, if wanted to become an officer or something. So I just kind of weighed out the pros and cons, and I decided getting out was something I was going to do. But that doesn't mean, at the end of the day, the Marine Corps' goal when people enter into the Marine Corps is to return better citizens back to society. And
absolutely.
I could thoroughly say they did that with me. They paid for all my education, and I think I haven't mentioned that, I still have my GI Bill. So if I wanted to get another master's, a PhD, go to frickin' med school, you name it, I have that option because I utilize tuition assistance. And I think it's so important for Marines to think about the time frame and the amount of education they truly want to get, and how you could get the military to not only pay for that, but in turn you're turning a better Marine back into the Marine Corps.
Well, I think, and you just brought it up, you hear some Marines, why'd you join for college or for this? And they always think, well, they're going to wait till they get out.
Right.
When they could be doing at least some stuff while they're in. And then, like you said, saving that GI Bill, and you're double tapping
Right.
Right. And I don't, you know, we're not going to use the Marine Corps, but the Marine Corps gives you these benefits. Why not make the most of it
100%.
versus, you know, you work your butt off for 4 years and then all you're going to get out of it is a GI Bill.
Right.
And you can only get a degree, you know, based off how you use that, you know what I'm saying? Versus coming out with 2 degrees and still being able to pursue college after.
Right. And I tell Marines all the time, you know, you work all day long for the Marine Corps. Like, what are you doing to progress within yourself? Not just as a person, but what are you doing to give back to the Marine Corps? So as much as my education was for me and a desire I had, it's made me the Marine I am.
Yep.
And I love that. And I love that the Marine Corps has given me this opportunity.
Well, I appreciate it. So I've already talked to her. I'm going to put her kind of on the spot here. I mentioned it. I want to have Sergeant Wall on again in a week or two to talk more towards the females about, you know, her experiences and lifestyles, because, you know, it's different coming from me, and I do have a lot of female followers that ask me questions and stuff as far as physical fitness and things like that. But she's a stud right here. So just as much as I go to the gym, she's going in the morning and I can't even do that stuff. So she kills it. So I want to have her come on and kind of talk about, you know, after having a baby, what is it like getting back? What are some of those expectations from your higher leadership? You know, because to me, there's just no excuse. After you have a baby, I get there is a timeline, but there needs to be a point where you get back in standards, you know, you start taking care of yourself, and that's ultimately not a Marine Corps thing. I think a health thing,
right,
you know, for you. So so I'm definitely going to have her on again. Make sure you guys give her a follow or a like. Awesome motivator. She tells all stories on her Instagram all the time. So anything else you would like to add before we wrap it up?
No, but go to college.
There you go. Hey, I re-enlist tomorrow, so I'm gonna have a good video coming with that. She was invited. She probably didn't check the email.
No.
So I re-enlist tomorrow. So my video tomorrow is gonna be kind of geared towards my re-enlistment and my process. This one's getting out, but she's obviously on to bigger and better things. So I'm gonna ride this thing out for the next 20 years. So Gunny out. Thank you.
Thank you.